Hi, welcome to week 3 before class lectures that I want you to review and do some work before we actually meet in class. This section, which is one of the 3 sections in week 3, is a very short clip on setting up your office for video and audio quality. Now, we're at 2 years since this pandemic started. We're at 2 years when many jobs have become at-home, work-from-home, remote work. You're probably spending a lot of time on Zoom at this point. You're probably spending a fair amount of time on Zoom for your classes. So I want you to fess up for a moment and write down and send me an email on what you are using at home for your current in-office setup. Are you using the web camera that's built into your laptop? Are you using a camera built into your smartphone, into your tablet? What are you using for lighting? Where are you positioning the camera in relation to you? What are you using for a microphone? Are you using a built-in microphone? The one that comes with your laptop or your tablet or your smartphone? If so, then you've got some work to do. Because if you want a professional image, if you want to be memorable, if you want to be seen, if you want a professional quality to your interviews, to your meetings, to your presentations, and your participation in class, then it's time to up your game. So let's talk about what upping your game is. This is a hotel room, just to make the point that you can do professional podcasting, professional video casting anywhere. You just need a little bit of gear. Now, this is pretty nice gear and might be a little bit more expensive than what we need to do in your home environment, but I want to make the point that if you travel for work, there is still no excuse. We have the ability to transform any space into a high-quality presentation space. So let's look at the elements that we would use in a hotel room, and let's translate it to what we do in the home environment. And I'm going to take you behind the scenes in a series of very small video clips that I previously captured to show you what my home setup is. What you're going to notice here right away is you've got something that's been pushed against a window. Why? Because the light mostly blocked from these blackout shades, but not 100%. It's better to be able to control that light by putting your screen and your microphone in front of that, while you'll also notice that my camera, my video lens, this is an LED. The webcam here, you'll notice that it's not in front of this light. It's off to the side, and right underneath it is this very small travel size LED panel that actually lets out a fair amount of good, perhaps color adjusting light on a tripod. You'll notice over here that we've got a couple of fill lights. We'll call this our key light, right? That's a technical term, meaning the light that's going to be the brightest source to provide my on lighting of me, the presenter. You'll see over here the lamp, and you'll see a side LED panel that's going to fill from the bottom so that the bottom of our face and our neck isn't bathed in shadow. Our mic here, which is, in this case, happens to be a Blue Yeti. I use a Fine because it's only about $49 versus a Blue Yeti, which is closer to $200. It does have a pop guard on it. I mentioned that in week 1. We use that for plosives, right? We use that to kind of absorb those popping sounds that we make with B's and P's. And we have one other final fill light over here on the side. that fills in from the opposite side so that you get a nice, balanced, fully bathed light with the appropriate amount of contrast, and you're in full frame and you're full featured. So when I tell you go beyond basic zoom and with your built-in webcam setup, what am I talking about? I'm talking about perhaps using a record and present platform such as a product called I know, it's the world's stupidest name, but it's a great product and it's available for both PC and for the Mac, reasonably priced as well. Downloadable, install it, you can record, you have a lot of what we call filter and screen effects. You'll see me use it in class if you haven't already. Very useful for recording and presenting, and it's kind of record and forget. You can have humorous camera effects using something called Snap. If you have reason to record, say you're recording for children, and you want to turn into a talking potato, Snap will get it done for you. For webcams, I recommend the use of a Logitech a C930 or a Brio. They're both still a little overpriced, but they're not pandemic pricing, so the pricing has gone down somewhat. You should get these in the $70 to $140 range. If you're going to record in a space where you got a bunch of clutter behind you, you need a green screen. So a green screen is a physical chroma key green screen that you use for a backdrop. Do not, and I repeat, do not use a virtual green screen. Why? I'll demonstrate it in class. The bottom line is that the virtual green screen effect is very unpleasant. You can't move, right? Because unless you've got a super high-powered laptop, right? And I do mean a super high-powered laptop. The amount of cycles it takes for the software, say in Zoom, to figure out what's you and what's not you, and to blur out, like that blurred out virtual background, or to put in a virtual background behind you. When you move your hands, or you're using a sit-stand desk and you're moving around just a little bit, you snap in and out of focus, or worse yet, you pixelate. So a green screen background will allow you to get around that because the software in a recording platform like Zoom that you use for video conferencing, or Microsoft Teams, or Cisco WebEx, or the product, if you're recording and presenting something in a playback, they know how to detect and to filter out a green screen, anything that is a green screen effect. It's much more effective and has very little in terms of pixelation. It may have a titch, but nowhere near what you'll see. And I'll demonstrate it for you in class so that you see the difference. Once you see it, you'll understand why I'm a pretty fierce proponent if you're going to use virtual backgrounds, because you want to cover up the back of your home office because it's really cluttered and it doesn't present the kind of effect that you want. Why and investing in a green screen makes a lot of sense. For your light choices, you can use what we call soft boxes, or you can use ring lights. I use a combination of both. In the office at OSU, here at Fisher Hall, my office, I use ring lights, which are really okay for up close and personal. But if in a studio format or in my home office environment, I actually use two soft boxes. I use Nearer. A great price from Amazon. I got a pair of them for 79 bucks. External speakers. I also, I just don't like the tinniness of how it sounds coming out of my laptop or my smart device. So I have invested, and I would encourage you to invest in either USB or Bluetooth or audio jack speakers. Logitech, Bose, or Jabra, dime a dozen. Don't have to spend more than 40 or 50 bucks, and you'll have much better quality sound, much more full-featured sound. It'll be a much more pleasant experience for you. Less fatigue on your ears to be on calls all day. So if you use if you have to pre-record stuff, if you have to produce a video that you're going to share with other people, I do recommend using screen capture and editing tools. Again, going beyond what we can do in Zoom. I think Zoom sucks. I just think there are better ways. Zoom caps out at about 720p. So in terms of its dots per square inch, it's pretty low. It's just in the HD range on a good day. Nowhere near 2K. And certainly nowhere near 4K. So when you do screen recording, if you have to do step-by-step, let's say that you're in the tech support community. Something like a Screencast-O-Matic, which you can get the license free, or you can spend $29 to $39 a year for it. Screencast-O-Matic gets it done and allows you to both do the screen capture, as well as a voiceover dubbing, as well as transcription, as well as very simple, easy to use, easy to learn editing. Now, if you have a Mac platform, you can certainly use the built-in video editing capabilities that come with the Mac, or you can upgrade using Final Cut Pro, which is what I use. If you're on a Windows platform, I would certainly recommend Premiere Pro as one of the better solutions out there. So, Screencast-O-Matic, what I like about it and why I recommend it a lot, unless you want to get into the business of really learning Final Cut Pro, which does take a few hours to begin to kind of figure out how to do stuff. And it does take 20 to 30 hours before you really start figuring out the features. And that's also true for Adobe's product on the Windows platform as well. What I like about Screencast-O-Matic is within 15, 20 minutes, anything that you need to know to be able to use it, you're good to go. It's very simple, good. It'll screen capture your screen, or just capture you, or capture you and your screen and your sound and put it together into one package simultaneously. Think of it being kind of a Zoom when you're sharing your screen and you're recording. It works a little like that, but it's got a lot of editing capabilities and can produce full high quality 2K, 1024, or 720, or even 480. So it gives you a range of how much compression it does on the final product in terms of the quality of what you want to publish. The manipulation, it's okay. It is nowhere near the capabilities of a Final Cut Pro. But I use it about 50% of the time, particularly when I want to do something fairly quick and dirty. So if you want to do what I would call legit AV recording and mixing, splicing in music, splicing in multiple takes, doing fairly sophisticated side-by-side editing of multiple cuts, then you're going to need to do Premiere Pro or a Final Cut Pro product to get the best effect. Now, here's what I also want you to do. I want you to go look at my quick clips on physical space by going to this folder. I have it posted on your assignment page. And I want you to review what I'm going to outline for you is what my home office setup looks like, what it looks like in natural light, what it looks like recording without any augmented lighting, what it looks like with different types of lighting, and what it looks like with different types of recording devices. So you get to see all of that and really do a compare and contrast. You're going to really see the difference. So stay tuned. There's more to come.